Hi you guys, it's Ruby from Oofy Scraps, and today I'm sharing a brand new project with you. I'm making a travel album in a citrus twist life crafted album. This is in the color Sunshine, I believe. It's kind of like a warm yellowy orangish color. And this is all from a trip I took to San Francisco with my brother, my boyfriend, and my best friend. So it was for the music festival Outside Lands, and I just went ahead and gave you a flip through of all my photos. I had my photos put in order and a couple of papers picked out, and I'm just going to jump all around to document and embellish these pages. So this was around Halloween time of 2020, and this was like a rescheduled event because they couldn't have it when they wanted to for safety reasons, so they postponed it to a little bit later in the year. The first day we got there, I think it was like a Thursday, and the festival started on a Friday, so we had time to kind of travel around, and we went to Chinatown and got boba, which is my favorite. My favorite thing ever is matcha boba. It's like the best thing ever. So I had these perfect boba sticker that looked like a matcha boba, and I stuck that down, and now I'm flipping to a totally random page. So just like my Italy album, I'm going to bounce around a ton, and that's just kind of the way I work with these mini albums. So now I'm working on a full 3x8 sized page, and I have two photos of me in Japantown, which I didn't even know existed, and I'm going to just put them one on top of another on this kind of dark primary colored floral print. So I'm just trimming them down so they're a little skinnier so that the background paper is able to show on the outer rim of the photos and be like an actual mat. And then I will adhere them down kind of one on top of another. But yeah, this was such a good meal. We had ramen, which is like my favorite. My friend and my boyfriend both love ramen, so we were super excited to find this place. But it actually took us a little while to find a place that was like open, like we could sit down sort of relatively soon, and had a vegetarian option, which I feel like in San Francisco, you'd think everywhere had a vegetarian option. But not the case for us. A lot of places were like, nope, we don't have anything for vegetarian. And then a couple places were like, you could sit down in an hour and 30 minutes. And we were kind of trying to get to the festival soonish, so we wanted to make sure we didn't spend too much time eating. But it was worth it because we ended up at a place that was super yummy, and it was pretty reasonably priced too. And I feel like ramen is always such huge portions, which is awesome. So we super enjoyed that, and you can definitely tell from the photos of me overly excited to eat my ramen. So yeah, and we all looked ridiculous because we were dressed up for a festival, which is like wearing your craziest, most colorful out there clothing. And everyone else was just like, it was rainy out, they were wearing jackets and like umbrellas and just hanging out eating food. And we looked crazy. But everyone in the city knows that it's, Outside Lands Festival weekend. So they probably expected it, but we definitely looked like tourists, as we were. So the other photo is me and my friend with our ramen, and I really liked this photo, but this album doesn't really lend itself to, what is it called? To like horizontal 4x6 photos, or really just horizontal photos in general. So what I did was I marked it, and then I folded it in half and created a like pop out. But I don't know why I folded it this way because I wanted it to pop out the other way. And I should have like made it so that when it pops out, I don't know how to explain this like without showing you with my hands. But I wanted it to be like the part that folded over was smaller than the part that was stuck down. Like this, but the other way. So I ended up having to do it backwards so it folds out into like the spine of the album, but it turns out fine. So I wanted to use that paper again, but it was a little too small. However, there was like the branding strip still on it, and the branding strip happened to coordinate really well, so I just left the branding strip on and let it have a little bit of that showing. So it turned out fine. So I'm using some red line tape. Whenever I work outside the page protector, I like to use like red line tape or score tape to make sure that it's going to really adhere down to the album or whatever and not fall apart as people are like flipping through it, especially with a pop out, which is something people are going to definitely handle a lot. So I'm adhering it down to the outside of the page protector, and then I'm going to use score tape to adhere the pattern paper to the back. I thought about using glue, but then I used score tape because I wanted to make sure it was really stuck down. So I would love to know if you guys have ever been to San Francisco, or even if you've been to outside lands. I guess this is the only year they've ever done it Halloween weekend. I think they had to push it for safety reasons. I think I already said that, but it was a different time of year. So if you've ever been, I would love to know. I know that a lot of people that I follow and follow me are based in California, so probably likely that some of you have been there. And it's also a pretty big tourist destination, people who don't live in California too. So there's a possibility, but it's a pretty cool city. The last time I was here, I think I might have said this too, but it was in high school, so I hadn't been back in a while, and it just seemed like the city had gotten a lot dirtier. And maybe it was because it was like a rainy, busy, touristy weekend, but it's kind of a bummer that it felt really just unclean. So I don't know, but I still had a really good time. There's so much to do in San Francisco. It's really a cool city in that respect, and it's just got a really vibrant, dynamic culture, it seems. You know, there's like something for everyone. So I have this sticker that is from the paper source, and it's a bowl of ramen, and I knew I wanted to save it for a photo of me eating ramen, of course, and this was like the perfect one. So I'm going to use that as my little like flipper thing. It's like the thing you use to pull open the layout. And so I'm taking the red line tape off the back, or like the backing paper off. I'm going to stick it down right onto the page protector, because I'm working outside of the page protector but still on top of the page protector, which was an interesting choice. So now I'm going to peel the adhesive off everywhere until where it's going to overhang the edge. So you see I leave a little bit of the backing on so that it can stick down onto the paper, but then the part that's hanging over isn't going to be sticky. So then I think I decided to just, oh no, I'm just trimming it down a little more. I had a little extra. I want to say though I might just peel it off and put pattern paper there instead, but I don't know for sure. Let's see what I do. It was a little while ago that I made these spreads, so maybe I leave it. But I think I put Velcro, and I think the Velcro would, yeah, I peeled it off. Okay, I peeled it off. I'm going to add a little bit of that same pattern paper. That's what I do. That makes sense. Because I was going to add Velcro so that I could like have it open and close really well, and the Velcro would have ripped off the backing paper of that sticker paper anyways. So I'm just carefully trimming this off, just the pattern paper off, like the overhang, and then I will do the Velcro so that it can open and close. That Velcro is like the best thing ever for something like this. It just works really well. It's super subtle. You can't see it that much on the page, and it's just teeny tiny, but just enough to get the job done, which is awesome. So yeah, if you ever need that, I just picked it up at Joann's. It's like little Velcro dots. There they are right there. And they just work really, really well for something like this. So it's a good little tool to have in your arsenal. But yeah, this page was weird because it was outside of the page protector, but still in the page protector. So I had to decorate the green paper. Like I had to pull it out, but then I didn't know how things were going to line up. So you'll see me kind of struggle with that a little bit here. But right now I'm pulling out stamps. So one of my big goals is to use a lot of stamps this year, because it's a good, like, cost-effective way of having more embellishments and things for your scrapbooking, since you can reuse them over and over again. And I just like the way that it gives a different texture, different finish from like a sticker or whatever. So I got this set of stamps. I don't know the name of who created them, but at the time I didn't even have a stamp block, so I was using the lid to my ink pad, which is totally fine. But it's all about food and like travel food, so eating while you're traveling. So I use a little bit of black ink and a little bit of red ink, mostly black with like pops of red, and I just stamped out a bunch of different stuff that I thought I might use, and then I will fussy cut it all out and then end up using some of it, not all of it. And as you probably saw, I went ahead and cut out all of these stamping and fussy cutting for you guys because it took a long time and it was mostly off screen, so I decided to just cut that out for you. And then I went ahead and grabbed a little label sticker from a Simple Stories sticker book that I have. I also want to apologize. There was a break between me recording the beginning of this voiceover to now, and I've since like really lost my voice. So if I sound super crazy, that is why. But yeah, so I am just trying to work on this other side of the page because it's the background paper is inside the page protector, but then the outside flip thing is outside the page protector. It's a little tricky to like line things up, so you'll see me kind of struggle with that. But I'm basically just taking all those little cut aparts that I stamped and stuff and just figuring out what I'm going to use, where I'm going to put it. And I've decided to like take the background paper, that green paper, out of the page protector and just like have it sit behind the page protector so I can work on it kind of. Oh my god, my voice is terrible. But I really wanted to get this video up for you guys. So I just decided to suffer through. I hope my voice isn't too annoying though. But yeah, so I did that so that I could actually see what was going on behind the little flip out. And then I have this photo, which I don't know if I work on that in this video, but it's a photo just like of the stage. Okay, I think I was just sticking it back in the page protector. I had to pull it out so I could see what I was doing. And then I have the little like noodle bowl that I stamped in red, and I was going to add that on beside the I ate here stamp that I have. And I just cannot get over how much I love these stamps. I have recently gotten more into stamping, and it was a goal, or it has been a goal of mine in 2022 to use stamps more. I don't have a lot of stamps because I don't stamp a lot, or I historically have not stamped a lot, so I don't buy things that I don't really use. But I do want to start stamping more, and something I document a lot is food, so I felt like I would get a lot of use out of these stamps. And I think I've talked about this before, but I try to be as environmentally friendly as possible in my life, and scrapbooking is not a very environmentally friendly hobby. So, using stamps is a one way to be a little bit less wasteful because you can use them again and again and again. So, anywho, this is another photo of like the first night we were there. We went and got drinks, and so I have this fun grid paper. It's like a gold grid on top of like a warm kind of yellowy orange paper. So I'm taping that down, and I thought that I could use some of those other stamps on this page because it's another like we're drinking, but like eating, drinking, whatever. So it's just like a top down view of our drinks. I don't remember the place we were at, but it was super good. And then I just used a small little wood veneer phrase I had that says drinks, and I put a little black ink on that. And I also used a little like drink with a straw sticker that I had. And now I'm flipping way to the end of the album. And this is our last day in San Francisco, and we went and got boba. Two of us had to work, and my brother and I did not. So my boyfriend Steven and my friend Olivia both were working virtually from our hotel. And Bo and I decided to go out and get some food and drinks. So I got boba because in San Francisco you have to get boba. Like boba's the best, and San Francisco has such good boba. So we went to this place called Boba Jen, and it had a super duper cute little pig on it. And I, of course, had to get matcha boba because that is my all time favorite. For decorating this page, I used a little flare badge that I have from a super long time ago that says something about like morning drinks or something. It has like a mug on it, but it was green. And I decided to go for this kind of bubbly page. So the paper is from, I think, Color Fresh from Heidi Swap, or I don't really know. I think it's Color Fresh. And then I use some other little circular embellishments there to the left. They're like enamel dots, but they're huge and they're kind of like metal, but they're pink and white. So I thought that worked really well. And then this is a cocoa vanilla multicolored alpha, puffy alpha, that I'm going to spell out boba time, I think. And yeah, so this turns out really cute. And so I wanted to just kind of keep the color scheme light and kind of, what's the word? Pastel. Kind of light. Lots of like circular sort of embellishments to emulate that boba ball type of thing. So I'm pretty close to finishing this little layout. I just put the title on, like I said, adding those little dots on there. And this is also close to the end of the first process video. I think I have at least 2 more processes in this San Francisco album. I work on a lot of this off camera as well. And of course, I will also share a flip through at the end. So definitely stay tuned for that. That's all I have for you guys today. Thanks so much for watching. I will see you in the next one. Bye.